Okay, now that we've found area and perimeter of both parallelograms and triangles, we're going to solve a couple other problems that use either the area or the perimeter. So we're going to look at two problems. We're going to look at 4b, and then we'll do 4c down at the bottom as well. So let's start with 4b. I have a triangle, and it tells me the area is 357 inches squared. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is, since you know that you have a triangle, and you know that you're dealing with area, you should just write down what is the area formula for a triangle, which in this case is a half times the base times the height. And now you can just substitute in a lot of the information. The area we know is 357, so that's going to go in for A, equals a half is part of the problem, times the base, which is 34, times the height, which you don't know, x. You can solve this a couple different ways. I would recommend just taking a half of 34. So when you take half of 34, you're going to get 17. 357 now equals 17x. Divide by 17, and you're going to get a value of 21 inches. And that would be the height of your triangle. Okay, I'm going to erase all of this so that way we can do 4c and I can keep all these words in here. So there it goes. We're going to look at 4c now. The base of a parallelogram is twice its height. If the area of the parallelogram is 72 square feet, find both of its base and its height. So I would recommend drawing a picture. We don't have one this time. I do know that I'm dealing with a parallelogram. We're going to draw out a parallelogram. However you want to draw your parallelogram. There's mine. It kind of looks like a rectangle, and that's okay. A rectangle is a parallelogram. And we know that the area of this is 72 feet squared. I'd also recommend writing down how do I find the area formula, or how do I find the area of a parallelogram in general. And we know that that is base times height. Now comes the wording up here at the top. This first sentence that I'm underlining, this is one of the most important parts in order to solve this. The base of a parallelogram is twice its height. So we're going to start off to the left. Base, B, is means equals twice its height, which means 2 times h. So we know that the base is 2h, which means that the height is just the height. We took the base in terms of the height. And now you can plug in your information. We know that the area is 72, which is equal to my base, we know is now 2h, times my height, which in this case is h. We can simplify this. 72 equals 2h squared. H times h is h squared. Next, we're going to take 72 divided by 2. When you do that, you're going to get a value of 36 equals h squared. To solve for h, to undo something squared, you take a square root, so your height is 6. Now that you know the height, they also want to know what the base is. That's not so bad. The base is 2 times the height, so we're going to say 6 times 2 is a value of 12. And I should put labels in here. We're talking about feet. And there's your base and your height for your parallelogram.